Hello, YouTube and Facebook. How you doing? This is Mikos Mitchell, also known as DJ Too Bad Meek. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I was at the Minnesota DMV on 217 Ramsey Street today, and I've decided that I will wait until either next Wednesday to go to the Eagan location on Cliff Road in Eagan, Minnesota, or next Thursday at the Hastings location to take my second attempt for my driver's permit. Anyway, I got some good news and bad news about myself. Well, the good news is I rode my bike a total of 23 miles yesterday. The bad news is I lost my bike lock. It was with a cable and the letter combination bike lock that I lost it yesterday. That's when I rode like 12 miles yesterday. For some reason it fell out of my handlebar, and I was gonna park the bike anyway. And the second time I went another 10 to 12 miles, and I backtracked the bike lock and I couldn't find it. I looked all over Hastings, everywhere, but I rode my bike approximately 23 miles. It felt good, and I had good exercise. It was 2 consecutive times, though. It wasn't all 23 miles at once. I think it was 11 miles round trip the first time. It was in the afternoon, and 12 miles round trip in the evening. So, yeah. And then the Hastings DMV location, Minnesota's driver license exam station from Hastings, Minnesota, every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. It opens at 8 in the morning and closes at 4:30 in the afternoon. And then the exam, for the written exam, it opens from 8 in the morning and then they stop doing the exam around 3:45 in the afternoon. It's every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And it's closed on Wednesdays. Wednesdays, I will either have to go to Red Wing, Minnesota, or Eagan, Minnesota, just to take the NILES test. The first two, in the state of Minnesota, the first 2 times you take the exam is free. But if you pass the exam, you'll get your driver's permit. You need an 80% to pass the NILES test. But if you fail 2 consecutive times, the third time, it would be $10. And each subsequent test thereafter would be $10 if you fail the test more than twice. But the permit fee is $14.25 at the DMV, Minnesota Department of Motor Vehicles. Yep, that's all I got to say about that. And then my job interview at the Hastings School District, ISD 200, went extremely well. The Special Education Department chairman were very impressed. And she said that, "Congratulations, Mr. Mikos Mitchell. You did very well on your job interview. I'm very impressed, and you came well prepared." And she said, and I said, "Thank you. I was very professional, and I asked the most difficult questions on the exam." And one of them on the exam she gave me a couple of scenarios, hypothetical questions, such as, if a child with autism were to hit me, what would I do? I told the Special Education Department chairman and the school principal, first I will have to report to a senior staff member or a lead teacher, or I will report to a school administrator. And then after I tell the teacher or the school principal or the department, Special Education Department chairperson, I would say like this: hands are for playing. Hands are for playing And hands are for coloring. Hands is not for hitting. That's what I would say. And then another hypothetical question that the interviewer asked me were, well, yeah, so how would you feel if you swam in a swimming pool with a group of children? I would say first, I will have to ask the department chairman and the lead teacher or the school principal permission, because I would be a teacher's assistant or a special education paraprofessional, and plus it would be against the code of ethics unless I gave him permission. That's what I would do. And if the teacher approved it, that's fine, but I understand there's code of ethics and everything, and there's all these rules, especially when working with children. That's why they have an applicant do a criminal and other background checks before you work with children. This is important. And last but not least, ask a couple of questions. One, what is behavior modification? And two, what is debriefing? Because as a special education paraprofessional or a teacher's aide, I will let the lead teacher talk to parents about the children's behavior or disruptive behavior, or during parent-teacher conference. I wouldn't be allowed to do debriefing because it's against the code of ethics, and I would be able to maintain my confidentiality. Unless something bad would have happened, then I would have to break confidentiality, because as per Minnesota state law, I am a mandated reporter anyway, even though I'm a volunteer at the Hastings YMCA. But say if something bad would happen to the children, I am required to report incidents by law. That is as simple as that. I had a really busy week. And, oh, I forgot to say this. When I was at the DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, I got an old, outdated 2010 or 2011 Minnesota's driver's manual. Majority of the stuff is valid, although some information changed from 4 to 5 years ago. I can just look at the app, the current version, the 2015 version of the driver's manual, or I can just do the practice test or go on the website or go onto the app. There's a lot of apps for the driver's permit. And of course I had to disclose the special education department chairperson and the school principal that I have a documented disability called Asperger's syndrome or the autism spectrum disorder. I had to self-disclose that. And then I also asked for academic accommodations or employee accommodations. That's what I would do. And then I posted in like 4 to 5 of the Facebook groups, 4 or 5 of my own Facebook groups that I want to continue to make mixtapes. I want to continue to write plays, but due to me being very, very busy, I will have to say I'm sorry for the inconvenience that may cause you, but I will be very busy preparing for my driver's permit and preparing for my second job interview at the Hastings YMCA. And by the way, the job interview that I will be going to on Sunday will be at the Hastings YMCA, 85 Pleasant Drive in Hastings, Minnesota. And that person will be interviewing me almost like the special education paraprofessional interview. If I'm hired at the Hastings YMCA, I'll be working with kids and kid stuff instead of me being a volunteer. I'll be working primarily with toddlers and preschoolers, but I will also work with school children. And if I'm hired at the Hastings School District 200, ISD 200, I will work primarily with preschoolers or primarily with grade children. Last but not least, I forgot to mention to you that my girlfriend's aunt purchased or leased a 2008 Chevy Impala. It's a black car, and she will be making car payments as well as pay insurance on the 2008 Chevy Impala. And then my future father-in-law, which is my girlfriend's stepfather, also purchased or leased the 2005 Chrysler Pacifica back in April of 2014. And he's still making car payments now. The 2005 Chrysler Pacifica, the gray crossover vehicle, is worth more than the black 2008 Chevy Impala. Either one of those vehicles are insured, and either one of those vehicles require car payments. That is like the major downside of owning or leasing the vehicle. Is very expensive on top of the car payments. That's the major disadvantage of operating a vehicle, driving a vehicle. There's a lot of responsibilities, like working with kids. You got to make sure the gas is in the car. You got to make sure you have you got to make sure you have auto insurance just in case a person were in an accident. And you got to have full coverage and liability coverage. It's just like working with kids. I am concerned about children's well-being. I do love working with kids, but even better, I like working with kids with special needs. In particular, kids with autism, kids with Asperger's syndrome, kids with ADHD, kids with learning disabilities, and kids who have PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, or learning disability, LD like dyslexia, reading, mathematical disability, writing disability, and like delayed development in children. In children who are developmentally enabled. I decided not to say the negative connotation of that word because it's very discriminatory. And I love helping out children and have them have access to resources. This is Mikos, Milan, Mitchell, aka DJ Too Bad Meek. That's all I got to say. Don't forget to ask me questions. Don't forget to comment down below on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to me or Google my name, Mikos and Mitchell, or Mikos Mitchell. That's all I got to say, YouTube. Peace and have a great night.